we're live. Welcome to Flower Pros. And today we're going to have Brad Weinstein of Petals and Stems Florist in Dallas, Texas. Brad, welcome to the episode here. And I look forward to continue our conversation we just had the other day about Valentine's Day.
Yes,
Gosh,
thank you.
I
Thank you.
can't get enough of it. Tell us about your store in Dallas and
Sure,
your family history, and then we'll
sure.
roll into Valentine's Day.
So, yes, my name is Brad, and we're Petals and Stems Florist. My father started the business 52 years ago, and he still comes in today. And I've been there since 1997, kind of started to learn the business. Hey, Dad, teach me the business. And um, the rest from there, it's been fun. It's a lot of work, but I really love the industry, and I love the business and people and customers, and so yeah, we're in the heart of North Dallas. At one time, my dad did have multiple locations and some hotels in the downtown area that supported the florist, supported the hotel per se with events and stuff. And then after 9/11, a lot of that did change. But when I got in this business in 97, we were still in two other hotels, and we ended up exiting those hotels. I think '03 was the last. So back in '03, we went to one location and just focused on the one location.
Okay. So one location now, right?
Yes, yes.
Great. And so, Valentine's Day, there was a lot of talk going on, and you and I both heard quite a bit of it. It's really easy working with you, Brad, because I don't have to do a lot of explaining. It's left, right, up, down, black or white, and you get it. And Valentine's Day's come up, so let's talk about that a little bit. You know what my opinion was. What did you hear, and what did you end up seeing from it?
Yeah, a couple people I talked to, industry from the wire service, Teleflora, and other wire services, or people I talked to, they said florists were expressing, and consultants were expressing that Valentine's was going to be down, and what did I think? And I didn't think that it would be down, nor did I even question that. I mean, maybe flat, but not down on a Friday. Some of them were telling me, "Oh, because it's President's weekend, and people are going to go out on vacation and do those sorts of things." But just in the 20 something years I've been doing this, I think that unless it's on a Saturday or Sunday, I could see it doing a dip. But any day of the week of Valentine's, I just don't see it being a down year. Um, so it was just kind of puzzling to me, and um, even if it was economy driven, there's people during Valentine's, they don't care what the price is for roses, they still send it. A customer even once told me this, and I'm probably not quoting the exact way he said it, but it was even during Valentine's Day. He said, "Love doesn't stop the economy," and it kind of resonated with me, especially because during Valentine's, people are going to still do those things. So even when our economy is a little bit more stretched, I think, or strapped with inflation and everything else, that I didn't ever think that Valentine's uh, would cause anything like that with inflation or anything.
I had my 30 years in. I never once had the current economics affect the holiday. I never did. Valentine, like you said, love is love. Valentine, it's one transaction, right? And that's what I
Hmm.
tell florists all the time. When you're sitting there bickering back and forth over who's going to pay for the replacement and what flowers do they want to put in there, it's one transaction. I
Hmm.
think that's what's also helped us weather the storm. Because no matter what's going on in your personal life, it's Valentine's Day. And if you have a girlfriend or a wife, it's one transaction. It doesn't have to be a dozen roses. It could be
No,
one
no.
rose. But the point is the transaction needs to be there. And that's something I'd like to talk about as well. So let's finish up Valentine's Day. We'll talk about transactions. What were your numbers for Valentine's Day? I mean, there were
So
people telling you down, but you know what
yeah,
I think?
even
So
after Valentine's, I was talking to some people, and they were telling me 20. They were ended up being 20% down because they were going based on that, so they didn't either order the product or hire enough staff,
they ran out, right?
and ran out. And I've never, very rarely do I really run numbers. Usually at the end of the month I'll run a number, but I was just kind of puzzled going, okay, it was probably flat, but we were ended up being 15% up.
Nice. Yeah.
It is, but in the grand scheme of things, though, is that even if we were flat, um, you can only do so much during this holiday, and
Right.
so I feel that I've never been pressed to go, oh, I need to be up, or because you can keep taking orders, but if you don't have the product, or if you don't have the deliveries, or the drivers, then you're going to get yourself stuck, and make it even worse, by trying to take on more business than you can chew. But on the flip side, though, is I think that regardless, every year we need to be, always just remember what the holiday really is like, because I think a lot of times we discount it after the fact, 6 7 months later, and I look at that, how many people I hired, and I did all that thing. But a perfect example was, I said, we're getting our roses in on Monday, and we're gonna, designers, the our core designers were there, but our everyday, the extra help, come in at 9:30, and we're gonna start producing roses. Well, sure enough, that Monday I already had two designers that were sick,
It
so
happens.
it happens. So, and that was Monday. So, you know if I would have said, oh, I could probably wait till Tuesday and start producing, I could get by with less designers. And you keep thinking in a monetary, and I think that's the biggest problem, is that I'll make room for more designers if I have to. Go out and rent more delivery vans. Even I ended up renting two more delivery vans, the weekend before, because I always hire extra help, extra drivers. Um, and a lot of those drivers come back every year, that they have full-time jobs, but they enjoy delivering flowers, so they come back. Some of them are on Social Security, some of them may be, on a disability, but it's always the same core drivers. So every year I always hire extra people. So I go back, like, again, the weekend before, I went back and I go, okay, this is how many trucks I'm running. This is how many drivers I have. If say two drivers don't show up, I still have an extra two spots. So I'm going to get two more trucks. So I don't tell the drivers no. Like, if they start calling me in January, I call them and I just start making a list and start making numbers, because things happen. And again, if I would have said I need 18 drivers and only hired 18 drivers, you got to keep in mind, like, somebody's going to get sick. Something's going to arise. They got a full-time job, and
Right.
now they can't deliver for you. So you
You have to
have
do it
to
last minute sometimes too.
you just have to be ready,
Right.
and whatever your numbers are, and go up from there, and be ready for it. And I said to you the other day, is that, what's the worst case scenario? So at 3 or 4 o'clock, you're sending those extra people home, those extra designers home, and your staff is getting out at 4 or 5
It's
o'clock in
never
the
happened to
afternoon.
me, Brad. In 30 years, it's never happened. There's all these stragglers that are looking for a florist all afternoon. Shutting the door is only shutting the door to your future business that you could be growing, because it's not about the order, Brad. It's about the relationship. Who's
Correct.
walking in the door is probably someone else's customer.
Correct. And I think also, you as a person, yeah, you can listen to consulting and stuff, but I think you need to know, your core business and what your business is. And I mean, I'm going to give a perfect example, and I don't always want to be like, oh, I'm always right, but it's just, after years of it happening, I've seen it. So
You know something
we
now.
we
Right.
get a lot of walk-in during
Right.
Valentine's, but it's a lot of people calling beforehand or placing on our website for pickup. We always close at 5, so we still tell our pickups that we close at 5. And the reason why is, all my drivers are already back, because I hire extra drivers, so I'm getting all the drivers back. But our core customer is the customer that is, either A, we're delivering it for them, or B, they called in advance, or they came by. But I'm not staying open past 5 o'clock for stragglers to come in. And I feel like, in a way, that's the grocery store crowd. And I'm not knocking the grocery store crowd, but I see it every year, is that the times that I used to stay there when I was waiting for drivers to come back, I would have the door open, still waiting for drivers. I'd have product in my cooler. I was even lowering the price of the flowers because at that point it's Valentine's night. The next morning, you're going to try to get rid of the product anyway. And these people are coming in and they're fighting you tooth and nails because roses are X amount of dollars. So I just know that that was what my core customer is, or what my business is like. So sure enough, 5:15, I had my last pickup. 5:30, I think 5:30, and I lock the door. I don't wait. Now those are my pickups. I don't wait for more walk-in to keep coming in. It's like let them they can go somewhere they go somewhere else, and that's that other person's niche. Now your other florist may be on the flip side. That's just my side of what I have noticed. And we're in a commercial area with residential, but it just seems like at 5 o'clock, people, we're in the heart of North Dallas, so maybe people live further north or further south. So they're going home towards home and they're getting maybe their flowers at the grocery store. Maybe they're going to another florist.
Well, we talked about the extra day. Did you take advantage of taking your orders for Thursday and letting people get their flowers
Yes.
the same day so they
I
enjoy it all day
feel
Valentine's Day?
I feel it's a disservice if we don't tell every customer, and all my internet orders too, every web order, we turn around and we email them saying we really suggest the 13th. Um, it's a spiel that we give, and if people want it on the 14th, great. But I ended up taking the last few years, we've been doing more orders on the 13th than we do the 14th.
Because you
Um,
trained your staff to do so. You educated your
correct,
sender because
correct.
you're doing them a disservice on the 14th. Because as far as I'm concerned, Valentine's Day starts at 12:01 a.m. Every minute of that night morning and that day is Valentine's Day. So if they get their flowers at 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, you've still done what you're rightfully supposed to do. But why does your Valentine have to wait all morning long watching everybody else getting their roses? And even though yours get there at 2 o'clock, say you've done the right thing, doesn't your Valentine, if you planned in advance, deserve to get their flowers maybe the day
No,
before? So
you're
on Valentine's Day, she's enjoying them while every other last minute Charlie gets their flowers. They're struggling to get them in the door. She's feeling like $1 million because my Valentine thought of me.
You're absolutely right. And again, we talked about it a couple days ago that it's like during Christmas time. I mean, it's Christmas and people are giving Christmas gifts December 1st or November 30th. So why is it that we can't train our customers? And again, I've
That's a
had
great
some
point.
I've had some clients that really wanted on the 14th. We're like, great, but the one when I started on the year that it was on that Super Bowl Monday,
Okay.
that's when I really got aggressive with my email,
Right.
and explaining to them because this is what we tell them, especially because if when it was on a Monday, I was really nervous. So I tried to get people to tell people to deliver it on that Sunday of the Super Bowl because if it's going to, basically what we say is if it's going to a residence, it'll be up to 5 o'clock. If it's going to a business, I mean, going to a residence will be up to 7. Going to a business will be up to 5.
Right.
So when it's going to a residence, I mean, Amazon's delivering 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So why can't I sit there and say, hey, it may be 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. I think Amazon came to my house one time at 9:30. So we have to explain our side of the business to the consumer, and if the consumer decides they want it on the 14th, then okay. But we told them that because again, things happen on that holiday, and
Amen.
I don't know other shops that will like guarantee to a school and again I do the same thing. I tell them if it's going to a school 5 o'clock, I suggest sending it the 13th. So that way, if they are already gone, they have it
Exactly.
for their in their room on the 14th or at their office on the 14th. Um, so I just think yes, we're here to serve the client, but we also I think we have to just explain.
Educate
Yes.
them to what's going to happen. If I'm sending Valentine's Day flowers and I'm planning in advance, I want to make it very clear that I planned in advance. Let the last minute guy get those. So I think the message that the industry needs to hear from this call is it's okay to deliver them the day before. Just train your staff like Brad did, like I did, to let the consumer know you have this option because you're ordering early. I had people ordering 2 days early, Brad. I had some people in my ordering Wednesday and Thursday. That's how we made our numbers. Like I think you got to look at how many deliveries can you make an hour times 8. That should be the number for the day that you can do. Anything after that, you're asking for trouble. So knowing what that number is and letting your consumer know, the one that's ordering early, which is most of them when you think about it, let them get them the day before. That gives you a 2 day holiday
Sure.
and lets all the best customers have their flowers. So that morning, everybody else is wondering, am I going to get flowers? Am I going to get flowers? And you've also planted the seed, right? They know they got flowers from you the day before. Who knows how many more people are going to say, I'll call them and get flowers today, hopefully. You know, Brad, we couldn't take an order on Valentine's Day. We had to busy our line. Well, we didn't busy all of them, but we were picking calls out of the queue because every call was either, when are my flowers going to be there? And can you still make a delivery today? And let me tell you what we see when they say that. When you say yes because you want to help them, they end up saying, oh, thank you so much. Then it's like, can you have them there by this
Hmm.
time? And then she'd
Hmm.
leave it home or leave it early. Do you have this? Do you have now it gets all this pickiness when you're just gasping for air. It's not their fault. They don't know. But the truth is, on Valentine's Day, if you're not selling open orders and designer's choice, you're just burying yourself and it's
Hmm.
all self-inflicted.
Hmm.
So we'll have another call about designer's choice and transactions because the transactions, we have to pay closer attention to getting people to think local, and that means pull out all the stops. The more we tell people, no, we can't, the less our chances are to see that local order grow anymore. We're losing it. Florists, for the first time, Brad, you're not one of them, but the ones that did not get the memo from me and do the $27 Tuesdays, the things that aren't appealing and profitable as much. But we're sitting there saying, we want top dollar, we want $100 a transaction. Well, everyone else is making money on the smaller transactions, but working with what's offered instead of making it a paint by number. And there is a happy medium there, but we've
Sure.
got
You
to
know,
get the
and
transactions back.
I've always told you though that you come up with a lot of good ideas. Some that is they're implementing that we do, or some that we I go but but I'll always listen or maybe tweak it. You
Tweak
and
it.
I,
You don't have to do what I say to the T.
yeah, or tweak it because I mean I think though that you do have definitely a lot of ideas, but it's a I've said to you if I'd be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if I tried to implement every single thing that you suggest. But I think though that yes, there are
Pick what you
different
like.
things.
Just pick what you like.
Exactly.
So thank you very much, Brad. I just wanted to have you on here to share that story because I think the takeaway is you spend a lot of time training your staff. One thing about your business, I've called there, it's a fine-tuned machine. Everyone's on the same page. And I think if a florist can take that one message from here, just to say, I want to make sure that we're in harmony and everyone on the phone knows what everyone in the design room is doing, that knows what the dispatcher's sending out. So everyone's working together in harmony, and the end result's going to be an efficient delivery that's going to be prompt, on time, fresh, and a great experience. So
Yeah,
people
for
will
sure.
remember you because at the end of the day, I think you're planting seeds for the future. It's not about the one order, it's about the future relationship.
For sure. For sure. Thank you.
Brad, thank you for being on this today with me. I know you had a busy day, and I really appreciate it on a Friday afternoon making time to do this. And we'll keep in touch. And thanks for being such a great member of ours.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.